Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our TOEIC unit for the month of May, and today our topic is about Mother's Day. And Mother's Day, of course, is a day in which we celebrate mothers all over the world. But in today's lesson, we've got Dale and Jennifer talking about putting on some kind of charity fundraiser so they can raise money for those in need.
Right. So that's a good way to raise money is to have a fundraiser. That's what we call it. Yeah, and they're planning a Mother's Day charity event, which would be a good time to raise some money. Of course, we've just passed Mother's Day here in Taiwan. It was on Sunday. I hope you all were good to your moms. And if you don't live close by your moms, I hope you called home and said you loved your mom and told her how grateful you were for everything. So we're going to be talking about this conversation between Dale, which is a guy's name, and Jennifer. We're going to start by having the two of us read through the conversation, and then we'll be back to talk about some of these good TOEIC words that you might see on a test.
I just realized that Mother's Day is approaching. We should use this opportunity to organize a fundraiser.
Great idea. Our charity can raise money for that children's hospital that recently opened up nearby.
Maybe we can create some Mother's Day t-shirts and greeting cards. We could sell them online and donate all of the profits to the hospital.
Let's set our sights even higher. We can cooperate with a restaurant to arrange a delicious Mother's Day breakfast.
That's a fantastic idea. How much do you think we can charge?
I calculate that we can add about 20% to the restaurant's regular prices if we offer a special holiday menu.
That sounds viable. If our marketing campaign is effective and people understand the proceeds are going to charity, I don't think they will mind the price hike.
To reach a wider audience, we can provide home delivery too. People can place their orders and we'll transport the meals to their homes. That way, moms can just kick back, relax, and enjoy breakfast in bed.
Okay, but who is going to handle the deliveries?
I think you are the perfect candidate for the job. This will give you a chance to put some miles on that new scooter you just purchased.
Since it's for a good cause, it would be my pleasure.
Okay, guys, let's jump in. Our first vocabulary word is right there in the title, planning a Mother's Day charity fundraiser. So charity here is a vocabulary word. We use it primarily in two ways. It can be the actual act of giving food or money or other kinds of help to people who are poor or sick. Or it can be used to describe an organization that helps people who are poor, sick, and needing help in some way. Here we're using it to talk about a type of fundraiser. It's a charity fundraiser, meaning it's a kind of fundraiser where you raise funds, raise money that you can then donate to charitable organizations. You'll also hear people say, oh, it's a charity or it's a charitable organization.
Right, so charity, of course, here is acting as an adjective to describe a fundraiser, and that's some kind of activity that raises funds, that raises money for a particular function, a particular activity. In this case, they're raising money to help poor people or to help those in need. And here's how Dale begins the conversation. He says, I just realized that Mother's Day is approaching. Yes, I just remembered that Mother's Day is soon here. It's going to be Mother's Day very soon. We should use this opportunity to organize a fundraiser. So yes, Mother's Day would be a good opportunity to have a fundraiser. People would be in the Mother's Day spirit, the spirit of giving and things like that. So maybe it's a good time to raise money to give to people who are less fortunate than ourselves.
Well, Jennifer thinks that's a great idea, and she says our charity can raise money for that children's hospital that recently opened up nearby. So that's where the money or the funds that they're raising are going to go, is to a children's hospital. Of course, everybody likes that sort of charity. Now, it sounds like they actually have their own charity. So maybe Jennifer and Dale work for a particular organization that raises money typically to help poor people or people in need. Here, they're going to use particular funds that they raise on Mother's Day to help a children's hospital. And as you can see, this children's hospital is open, and it just opened up recently. It's brand new, and it's nearby, meaning it's not too far away.
And Dale continues the conversation. He says, maybe we can create some Mother's Day t-shirts and greeting cards. We could sell them online and donate all of the profits to the hospital. So his idea is to make some t-shirts. Maybe they can order a bunch of blank t-shirts in different colors and then design some kind of logo and then have that logo put onto the shirts, some kind of design or something like that. And people would buy that. Happy Mother's Day 2022 or something like that. And also they might design some greeting cards. People still send cards to their mothers on Mother's Day.
Yeah,
they could print up some greeting cards with their own designs, and then they could sell them online. And of course, they want to make a little money out of that, but they would not keep the money. They would donate all of the profits to the hospital. So if you donate something, you give something to some kind of charitable organization. You could donate blood, for example.
You could donate a car. Maybe you have an old used car that could still be helpful to some people. You could donate a car. Of course, you can always donate clothes, clean clothes, keep them clean before you donate them. And of course, money is always welcome. So Dale says those are his ideas. Jennifer says, let's set our sights even higher. What does she mean by this? Well, if you have a sight, it's something you can see in your mind. Could be a real sight. Maybe you're out on a range, if you're in America at least, and you're shooting a gun at a target. That could be your sight that you're trying to hit. You could have a goal that's your sight. What she means here is let's raise our ambitions a little higher. Let's set a higher goal than that. So she wants them to set their sights even higher. What could we do that would be even better than what we've talked about so far? She thinks they should cooperate with a restaurant in town to arrange a delicious Mother's Day breakfast. Let's see where she's going with this idea.
Right, so cooperating means working together with somebody for a specific reason, and they're going to cooperate or work together with a restaurant, and they're going to arrange a Mother's Day breakfast that will be delicious for people who enjoy the breakfast. And Dale says, that's a fantastic idea.
Right.
Why didn't I think of that? You can think of all the great ideas, Jennifer. It's a good idea. It's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea. So if something's fantastic, it is beyond great. It's just really wonderful. It's a super idea.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's much better than saying, that's a good idea. That's pretty good. That's a fine idea. If someone says it's fantastic, it's excellent. It's about as good as it can get. So he says, how much do you think we can charge? What kind of price shall we put on this list of items at the menu? On the menu at the restaurant, she says, I calculate that we can add about 20% to the restaurant's regular prices if we offer a special holiday menu. Now, when you calculate something, you usually are doing some sort of math calculations, right? So you want to determine the amount of something by doing some math equations. Here, we're using it to kind of talk about solving a particular problem or coming up with a solution. So she calculates, and maybe in her mind she thought, maybe we could just add a little bit more to the regular prices. She thinks 20% is a good amount, and that would work out great. So you can use calculate in an actual way to talk about actually doing some math figures and math calculations, or it also is sometimes used to talk about solving something or figuring out the meaning of something. We often use that phrase, figure out something. She also Tom could have said, I figure that we can add about 20% to the restaurant's regular prices. So that's more of a figurative way to use this word calculate, which is a verb.
Yes, she's using some mathematical skills there to figure out some money that they can donate to charity. So, yeah, maybe if we add about 10% to the regular price,
20%.
that won't be enough. But, yeah, I was going to say 10% is probably too low. Maybe 30% is too high. So she thinks that 20% is a reasonable figure.
Right.
And then Dale says, that sounds viable. Okay, viable here means able to be accomplished, able to be done successfully. It's feasible, it's workable. So that sounds viable. That's a good idea. Again, it's not too high, it's not too low. We might get enough people coming into the restaurant to pay for those breakfast meals, and we'll make some money and be able to donate it to charity.
We often use this word viable, or you'll see it being used when you talk about an animal or a baby who is born early, maybe too early, and can survive outside that mother's womb or mother's body. You could say, yeah, the baby will still be viable if it's born at 6 months. Here, it just means, yeah, it's feasible. It's something that will work. It's something that will successfully turn out. So, yeah, he says it sounds viable, just listening to her idea. If our marketing campaign is effective and people understand the proceeds are going to charity, I don't think they will mind the price hike. Yeah, if you tell people in advance what that extra money is for, I don't think they'd mind. Now, when you talk about proceeds as a noun, and it's used in the plural form, guys, it just means the money that you make from some sort of activity going somewhere. We don't know where those proceeds are going to go sometimes when we're talking about raising funds. But here we know it's the total amount that's brought into a company or brought into a charity from some sort of sale. Oh, the proceeds from our garage sale were quite good. Maybe you decide you want to sell some of your furniture or things in your house because you're moving. You could sell it to neighbors and friends, and then those proceeds can be used for something else.
It's kind of confusing here because proceeds is a countable noun, whereas, say, money is non-countable, but the proceeds is referring to the money that they make.
But you have to use it in the plural form when you use this particular noun.
If you're using this word indeed, so the proceeds are going to charity or the money is going to charity. And then Dale goes on to say, I don't think they will mind the price hike. Hike here usually means you're going for a hike in the mountains. This is a noun form here. I'm going for a hike. I'm going on a hike, or I'm going to hike in the mountains. That is being used as a verb there. But a price hike just means an increase in the price. And he thinks they won't mind the price hike once they understand that the money is going to go to charity or the proceeds are going to charity.
Yeah, you can probably look around you and see your favorite things that have had a price hike recently because of COVID and the lack of goods coming and going from different countries. So price hikes. We don't like price hikes, but they happen all around us. I'm sure people have noticed. Now, to reach a wider audience, we can provide home delivery. Not everybody can get down to the restaurant. Maybe your mother is quite elderly and she wouldn't be comfortable there. So maybe you want to buy something that will be delivered to your home. Well, people can place their orders. And then Dale and Jennifer's organization will transport the meals to their homes. And she says that way, moms can just kick back, relax, and enjoy breakfast in bed. If you kick back, it just means you're relaxing. And we often will use that phrase, kick back and relax. Kick back and relax and do something. I want to kick back, relax, and watch a movie tonight with some friends. This is a really great idea to offer two different ways of participating in the fundraiser, going to the restaurant and then getting delivery at home.
Exactly. So some mothers may prefer to stay home and enjoy their breakfast in bed or at the dinner table or something like that. And other mothers may prefer to go to the restaurant because they might be able to sample different foods or be waited on by the waitstaff, etc., or just to go someplace different. So it depends on the person, of course. But yes, if some mothers prefer to stay home and enjoy breakfast in bed, well, then they can transport the meals to their homes. But Dale has a question here. Okay, but who is going to handle the deliveries? Who's going to take care of the deliveries? Are we going to, have them delivered by various food delivery services, or are we going to do that ourselves?
Well, Jennifer nominates her own friend Dale for the job. She says, I think you are the perfect candidate for the job. If you're a candidate for something, you're somebody who perhaps is running for office, some political office, or maybe you're qualified for a particular membership in a club, or maybe you're a candidate for some type of surgery. We often use it for that as well. Oh, he's a good candidate for surgery. If you're a bad candidate for surgery, it means if you had that operation, you probably wouldn't survive. A lot of elderly people are too old for example, to have open heart surgery that might kill them before they even had a chance to recover. So, yeah, he's a good candidate. She suggests him, she nominates him to deliver some of these orders.
Right, so I guess maybe he's a skillful scooter rider, or of course he may be delivering these meals with his car or his bicycle or something like that, or maybe even using a skateboard, who knows. And, of course, she goes on to say, this will give you a chance to put some miles on that new scooter you just purchased. Aha, so he's going to deliver these meals with his scooter. And remember, a scooter is a motorized vehicle that has two wheels, and a scooter is one of those devices where you can put your feet in front of you inside the machine. But if you have to put your legs on either side of the machine, then that is a motorcycle. That's different.
Bigger engine.
Usually.
Yeah.
Motorcycles in Taiwan might have bigger engines than scooters, but there are quite a few scooters out there that have big engines as well. I guess it depends on whether you have the yellow plate or the red plate or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But in any case here, he just got a new scooter, and maybe he wants to put some miles on that new scooter to kind of break it in.
Well, Dal is a good sport, and he says, yeah, since it's for a good cause, it would be my pleasure. He's happy to help out. You can have a good cause. It's just some sort of activity that's going to be helpful to people. It's for a good cause. If somebody comes around and is fundraising, maybe they're at your door selling candy bars, for example. That happens in America. Kids from high school and junior high will go around their neighborhoods fundraising for some sort of school trip, and they'll want you to buy a candy bar that's kind of expensive, but it's for a good cause, and so you usually are willing to pay more. Well, he thinks this is for a good cause, so he's willing to use his brand new scooter to make deliveries.
And hopefully he won't have too many orders, otherwise he won't be able to keep up with those orders, or he'll ride like a madman to get those deliveries to those homes before the food gets cold. Okay, that brings us to the end of our discussion of their conversation. Let's take a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher, and we'll be back to talk about some useful expressions, and then we'll have a discussion question.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天要带大家来看看，如果我们要用这个母亲节的名义来做个募款活动的话，大概会有哪些想法呢？我们今天对话的主角是 Dale 跟 Jennifer， 他们其实是台湾妇女健康协会的工作人员，那他们就想要利用母亲节来做个募款活动。不过我们在标题当中的最后一个字看到 fundraiser，其实它是一个复合字，那这个复合字呢是哪两个字呢？第一个字是 fund， F-U-N-D， fund， 它其实就是一笔钱啊，或者是基金的意思。好，另外一个单字就是 fundraiser 的 raiser， 那 raiser 呢其实要从它的动词开始看，所谓的 raise R-A-I-S-E， 它是个及物动词，其实最主要有两个意思。第一个意思就是养育，比如说养小孩啊，养宠物啊，都可以叫做 raise a child, raise a pet。 那么 raise 还可以当募款的募 raise money。好， 所以这个 fundraiser 其实就是所谓的募款活动。好，那么接着呢，我们就来看 Dale 跟 Jennifer 的对话。不过我们今天的对话其实可以 focus 在怎么样去回对方的话，比如说他们今天是要讨论怎么样来发起一个募款活动。所以其实我们在对话当中可以尽量释出善意，肯定对方的想法。例如第一个 Dale 呢，他有讲到说，我突然想到母亲节要来啦，我们可以利用这个机会来办一个这个 fundraiser 一个募款活动。我们先注意一下第一个 Dale 第一句最后一个字的这个 approach 当动词就是接近靠近的意思。好，那 Jennifer 怎么回答呢？如果对方有个想法，当然要很肯定对方，好主意耶。当然中文我们不会说好主意，我们可能会说不错耶，我觉得蛮好的耶。那英文很常用 great idea。好，第一个 Jennifer 我们注意一下第二句有一个限定用法的关系子句，先行词是 that children's hospital， that children's hospital 那个儿童医院，哪个儿童医院啊？ that 到句尾可以左右挂号起来，就是最近刚 open up， 最近才刚开设的。好，那么 Dale 就继续说啦，或许我们可以制作一些母亲节 T 恤，还有贺卡，甚至可以在网络上面贩售啊，然后把所有的利润都捐给医院。那 Dale 他的讲法呢也是蛮客气的，他说或许我们可以 Maybe we can do something。 可是 Jennifer 她觉得可以做一点不一样的事情。那么 Jennifer 她的这个回答呢其实也很客气，她说 Let's do something。Let's do something， 特别注意一下 let's 这个字哦，这里的一撇 s 它其实是 us 就是我们。Let us do something， 当然这个是表示一个提议，并不是所有的一撇 s 都是 is。像 let's do something 就是 let us do something 的一个缩写。好，那么很客气说，那我们来把眼光 our sights我们放高一点吧，可以跟餐厅合作啊，比如说安排一个美味的母亲节早餐之类的。那 Dale 的回复呢也很客气，我觉得这想法很棒他回答的是 That's a fantastic idea。 Fantastic 的程度甚至比 great 还要更多，更加强一点。不过 Dale 这个时候就提一个问题啦，那你觉得我们可以收多少钱呢？母亲节的早餐嘛，大家吃早餐不就应该是不超过100的，那大概要多少钱呢？那 Jennifer 她就回答，如果我们是供应特殊的假日餐点，其实可以把一般的餐厅的价格大概再加个 20%。那我们可能要特别注意一下第三个 Jennifer calculate 这个动词啊，就是估计计算的意思。那本身因为是一个及物动词的关系，所以如果后面要加上一个完整子句的话，连接词的 that 其实是可以省略的。好，我们再看一次哦。当你在句子当中看到一个 that， 它不一定都是关系子句，因为 that 假设你把它当成冠带，它前面一定是先行词，先行词一定会是名词。可是 that 前面的 calculate 是一个及物动词嘛，言下之意就是说我估计一件事情，我的计算大概是这样。它其实文意顺下来就是会有受词的产生，所以后面这个 that 是一个无意义的连接词，而且常常就是因为放在及物动词后面就直接省略了。同样我们直接看一下第四个 Dale 的第二句，我们有没有看到一个 understand 后面的 that 就是直接省略掉啦。 And people understand 大家会了解一件事情， that 就省略。The proceeds are going to charity 所有的收益都会捐公益。所以大家就觉得说，他们俩觉得这样子母亲节早餐这个 idea 是蛮可行的耶，而且他们甚至还可以提供外送服务啊。第四个 Jennifer 的第一句，我们看一下后面 home delivery 就是送到你家，外送服务，甚至呢还可以呢这个直接将餐点就送到家，然后就是让妈妈在床上可以享受这个美味的早餐。那么谁要去送呢？当然就是 Dale 咯，因为最后一个第六个 Dale 他有说啦，既然是为了做善事，我很荣幸可以去做外送。我们特别注意一下最后一个 Dale since 在这里不是自从哦，而是当连接词它有 because 的意思，所以下次再看到 since 特别小心，有可能是自从或表原因。 而最后一个重点就是这个 cause， 因为 cause 当名词的时候，特别还有善行、善事的意思。我们明天会带大家看一下这个募款活动到底文宣长得如何呢？我们明天见，拜拜。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. It's time to look at some of these useful expressions for making suggestions. You're always going to have an opportunity in life to make suggestions, whether those suggestions are to your friends or your boss, or maybe people that are interested in hiring you. So making suggestions, here's the first one. Hey, maybe we should turn our cameras off during the meeting. Maybe we should. Or how about we do this? Or what do you think about this? There are lots of ways to start out a suggestion with different phrases, you know. So that's one of them. Maybe we should do something.
Right, that's one way to make a suggestion. I would say the most basic way to make a suggestion would be to say, I think that we should do this. Or you can just simply say, let's do this.
Let's try.
Exactly. But these are some other ways you can make suggestions. Again, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should turn our cameras off during the meeting because if the cameras are on, people might be nervous that they're being photographed and they won't be willing to, express their ideas and things like that. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. And here's another way, number 2. I recommend that you take the car for a test drive before you make up your mind. So there's another way to make a suggestion. I think or I recommend because I have this information, I have this experience, and therefore I think this is what you should do. I recommend that you take the car for a test drive. You might want to buy a new car, but yes, you should take it for a test drive before you make a final decision.
Yeah, this one is one of those tricky verbs, a subjunctive verb. I recommend you do something. You don't even need to use that. That is optional. So I recommend you take the car. I recommend he go to the doctor. It's kind of a crazy verb tense, subjunctive. Do some work on that. I advise. We often use it when we're making suggestions. I suggest you do this. I suggest he do the following. It's a little different from normal verb conjugations. So here's number 3. I thought we might try having shorter meetings. No one likes to go to meetings. I don't know. I hated meetings at work because I had other work at my desk that I needed to finish, and the meetings just seemed to be a waste of time. A reason for people to sit around chatting and eating food because we always had food at our meetings. Here's some other suggestions. Maybe we could, shall we do something? Or do you fancy going out tonight? What about, or we might as well. There are lots of ways to make suggestions.
Okay, now it's time for our discussion question, and here's the question. Can you think of some other ways to raise money for charity?
Well, we always had bake sales when I was growing up, and we would make cookies and cakes and then have people pay for them more than what they would typically pay for those sorts of baked goods. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, you mentioned the other one, go door to door and knock on the door and ask them to make a contribution to a specific charity or to, sell them a very expensive candy bar or something like that. I seem to remember people coming to our door in my hometown doing just that. Would you like to buy this candy bar? How much is it? It's like $5, but it's for a good cause. Okay, I'll help you out there.
Right.
And of course, there are other ways that people can raise money for charity, and you guys should discuss those ideas amongst yourselves. Now, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thanks for joining us, and please join us again next time. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.